Welcome back, family. You guessed it. You're on Better Minds Interrupting Podcast. And today we have something special for you. Something real good and exciting. And we're here, of course, with my lovely co-host, Brown Girl Interrupting. How are you tonight?
I am fabulous. What's up, fam? So glad that everyone can make it here with us tonight. I am excited for this special episode. Tell me more.
Okay, I shall tell you more. So, let's see. Today we're going to talk about accountability and self-discipline. It's so big, and it's something that we all need to know and share. And we also have a special guest here with us. He goes by the name GeeAlford. And I'm going to tell you, he ain't nothing to play with. He got some knowledge, some experience for you. But before we bring him in, how was your weekend, Brown Girl?
Ooh, so my weekend was actually lovely because I celebrated my 44th birthday. Woo! Thank you to Ja and our producer. Thank you so much. I appreciate that little shout out. Yes, and it was beautiful. And good evening, Anise. Nice to see you here. Thank you, Latoya. It's nice to see you here too. Yeah, so it was a beautiful weekend. I brought in 44 in the year of 22, right? All good numbers, all blessings. And I'm seeing that this year is going to be a whole lot of growth and spirituality. Thank you, Latoya. I appreciate it.
Yes. And might I add, you look damn good for 44, girl.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so before we continue on with our topic, let's bring in Mr. G.
What's happening?
How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for coming to our platform. We really appreciate it. Would you like to introduce yourself and give the people a little snippet of who you
are? Well, I go by GeeAlford from I'm originally from Lombard, North Carolina. I reside here in Charlotte, been here close to about 17 years. 38, and it's very simple. I'm just a guy who went through his transformational journey, his healing journey, and found me along the way, and I ain't looked back since. I love the way life is. I'm living life on my terms, whatever I identify it to be, So that's in a nutshell. That's just, summarize me,
Okay. I like the sound of that. Nothing wrong with finding you and loving you, because that's most important. Because the main thing is to fall in love with you, so you can never allow someone to love you less than what you.
There you go.
Find yourself deserving.
There you go.
And welcome. It is so nice to have you here, and I love that healing journey and message of self-love.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. First of all, happy birthday. I didn't know it was your birthday. So.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. So, folks, you know how we do it here. Accountability. Let's define it first, because I need to make sure y'all know y'all definitions. Let's see what this accountability is about. It's easy. The fact of condition or being accountable. Responsibility. So if you're held accountable for anything, it's your responsibility. That's the main thing we all should know. Have you ever experienced, Maria, where you had to hold yourself accountable?
Ooh, a lot of times. But I will say it's hard. It's not an easy thing to hold yourself accountable. But definitely, yes. I think I've been pushed into it sometimes, and sometimes I've seeked it out myself. So it depends.
Okay. What about you, G?
Have I ever, what was the question?
Have you ever had to hold yourself accountable?
Well, it's a lifestyle for me. I do it every day, So then that's why I found life on the other side of accountability. So I constantly hold myself accountable. I make sure every move that I make, you know, I'm holding myself up to a certain standard, and making sure I understand that wherever I take me at, I'm going to have to correct that mess. So yeah, I'm constantly holding me accountable, always.
That's right. Good stuff. I see the TikTok family tuning in. Your
Yeah, they can't
followers is following you.
Listen. When I tell you them people show up, they show up. I love them. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
They show
you.
up. I love
Thank
them.
you.
I was partying with them. Okay,
Yeah.
so accountability. Now let's get on. Now there's something else called personal accountability, which is the same thing. You know, being liable for something or a situation. It's something that you said on your TikTok, and I was like, that's some truth. You said, not only do you hold yourself accountable, but others around you as well.
Absolutely.
Like, you can't have your partners out there messing up and stuff, and then the story kind of lies on you because you like, I'm not down with that. You keep that drama over there, right?
Absolutely.
So what's the importance of you holding people in your circle accountable?
Well, because of how I'm wired, if I don't hold you accountable, then I'm condoning what can be labeled as a sucker move. So what I'm going to look at is your lack of accountability pours into my life to where how you move can affect me and how I get home to my children. You understand what I'm saying? Or affect my everyday living. So when you're around me and you, whatever you doing, that rubs off or makes it look as if birds of a feather is flocking together. No, it ain't. That's you. And at the end of the day, if I call you a friend, that's why else will I be around you if I'm going to let you do that? My job is to point out what you don't see. So since we can't see ourselves, it's my job to show you what you're looking like because you can't see you. So why else am I around you if I'm going to let you look like that? And I'm willing to lose the friendship behind my principles. So whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah.
That is perfect. You couldn't have said anything less than what you have already said. So Maria, you want to add on to that?
Well, I was just going to say, I think that's really powerful because I think what it sounds like is that accountability is a huge piece of the healing journey because then you're deciding who's even in this journey with you. Because you got to make the cut.
Bingo.
Right?
That's right.
Okay.
You got to make the cut.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So can I ask though, like what led you to realizing the importance of accountability in your life?
Well, it started 2009 when I became a single father. I was used to playing the victim story. So I had a conversation with, my idea of God works in my life. I said, I want to learn how to live this thing called life and get this thing right. Because what I realized was every time I had to start back over, I had to go back to point A. I had to always go back to mama house. She didn't. I did. You dig what I'm saying? So by this time, I'm now left with a child. So we not going back to mama house. We got to figure this out. So at this point, the first thing happened with me was, okay, so you want to get this thing called life down. Well, let me illuminate your life and let me show you. So before we get anything else, the first thing you're going to have to stop doing is being a victim. Second thing you're going to have to start doing is understanding to have a real-time awareness. And I mean, when you are making certain moves, this is the programming that you have, and this is what keeps causing you to put you in this position. This is why life keeps putting you in these positions, because your triggers is what's doing this. So what we have to do is have real-time awareness. So what I had to finally understand was, in order for me to get to the next level, I must first conquer the level that I'm on, and that's me. So once I conquered me and found me and everything, it made me, because a lot of people are afraid to face accountability, because that means your story gonna have to change. That means you can't play the victim. That means you can't blame people. That means you're going to have to go back and keep your mouth closed now, because you use that as a driving force all this time. But when you look at your role in situations, you kind of realize a lot of these people was responding to you. You understand? You act and they're responding. So you're going to have to really pay attention to what you're doing. So once I had to understand that, then what I had to do is put my big boy pants on and see it for what it is. You did what I'm saying? So once accountability starts, now awareness is open. So now when the awareness is open, it's all observation. It's all studying me and learning me and watching my moves, watching my triggers, watching my thoughts, watching my programming. You dig what I'm saying? And then that's when I realized that's what freedom was. But you know what I'm saying? Then there was another section, which I just recently did. And that's when real accountability kicked in. And that's when you realize the lack of boundaries and all this other stuff. You dig what I'm saying? That's when you realize anything that ever happened was what you allowed when you get to a certain position in your life. So all that comes in. You can't tell these sad stories when you keep opening the gate and letting these intruders keep intruding in the same space. So you're an accessory to this crime at this point. So that's when accountability kicked in for me. You understand? So
that's awesome. So eyes wide open, and then it sounds like you've got steps to it, right? There's not just one level, but there's lots of levels to accountability that we got to know.
You got to be accountable on. It's so many levels to accountability. You don't just get this thing right one time. It's a lifestyle. It's a program. We trying to get it to where it's our program to check ourselves. You dig what I'm saying? So when you got that autocorrect, it's about building that autocorrect in you to where you ain't got to worry about nobody else holding you accountable because you're going to correct yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a better lifestyle to live. That's a better lifestyle to live when you got autocorrect within you. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the way to get there is what Trini is here to help us with, because she is always giving us the steps of how to take that self-discipline and find that accountability.
Yes, I love that explanation. Well, not explanation. I love your story. Because that is your healing point.
Right on.
And it's there for a reason. Because that's your reminder. Don't forget your story. Right. Don't forget. That's right. And it's helping others people to heal as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Learning from our lessons. That's the key, right?
Right.
That's the key. That is the key.
Right.
So something you said, like holding yourself accountable, right? You want to, let's say, we're going to go through 5, maybe 6 steps to how maybe one person, if you trying to figure out your world, let's say that. And if you want to add on, you can. Also, we're going to start with this. So the first thing you want to do to hold yourself accountable for anything is declare your intent. You need to know why. You need to take the time to let others know what your intent is, because you about to step away at this point and figure it out. So you're declaring it. You don't know what for yet, but this is just the first part of holding yourself accountable. You stepping back because now you got to assess the situation. We got to see why shit ain't working right for me right now. You know what I'm saying? So we go to that. And while you're in that intent, while you're trying to figure it out, and me and Mario, I tell you this all the time, you have to start at the bottom. So we're about to become aware of ourselves at this point right now. And to do that, you can't punish anyone. You can't even blame anyone. You got to take everybody out the situation and only leave yourself in it. That's one, right? So the second one is to be direct and objective. You want to, and this is with yourself, because we're talking about figuring out for ourselves. Go in that mirror. Be direct with yourself. Be objective with yourself. Because at this point, now it's time to unlearn what you used to do and what you knew so you can relearn and become better, right? And after you do all of those things, was you about to say something, Marty?
So can we pause there for a second? Because I think that piece on direct and objective is really powerful, because that's like where I think a lot of people get stuck, right? Because now, so I have my intent. I know I got to figure something out. I know I have to be accountable, but now I got to be objective of myself. So I'm going to put this out to both of you. What are some of the ways that you have been able to take out the outside forces and be really objective about yourself to see your flaws, your challenges, the places you needed to grow?
Well, with me, the one thing that I realized was I had told that victim story for so long that it was a programming. So it was my reflex to say it. So one of the things that I was brought to was what I was saying. And what I noticed what I was saying involved me. So what I would say certain things, and I'm now in this position because since it's my season, it was my season, it was my student season. So when you're in your season, you get brought to where you're supposed to be. You understand what I'm saying? So being that it took a made up mind. First of all, you got to have that made up mind. You got to know this is what you want to do. So when I was brought to that season, the first thing I paid attention to was my programming and what I rehearsed, my rehearsing, the things that I always said, the things that I felt that made me the victim. So when I began to look at it, it was crazy because what she just said was the next step for me was the mirror work. So when I looked in the mirror, I talked to me. And one thing that is not going to happen, your eyes cannot look in your soul and let you lie to it, because you're going to be uncomfortable when you're looking in that mirror and you're about to talk through a mask when there's nothing but your truth, because that's digesting in you. So when you're about to sit here and open your mouth and say something that you've been telling these people, yourself know you lying. You understand what I'm saying? So when I went to repeat those same stories in the mirror, it kicked back for me, it kicked back all me. It kicked back my whole story. So it made me eliminate. It literally highlighted the words that I said because my soul is talking to me now because I'm looking at it. So as I'm speaking to the mirror, it's kicking back me. So I'm seeing me in all these situations. And I had to go back and sit down with it. And when I had that aha moment, and when I realized I lost all my jobs because of my attitude and all this other stuff, and I really had to look at it, then I realized, wait a minute, this was me. Oh, snap. I've been telling it was about life all this time. This is my life. I created this mess. So when I sat with that, I had a wild moment where I was like almost in depression, that I finally realized that I was the culprit the whole time against me. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's when I started to say, wait a minute, what else? Because once that portal of awareness is open. You can never close it, because now you're going to see you all the time. And the only thing that's going to stop you is the areas that you feel is too strong. So you're going to reject it, but it's going to sit there, because one thing about awareness, once you see it, you're now held accountable. Once you held accountable, now you will be suffering the consequences behind what you're refusing to acknowledge.
Right. It'll come back. It never goes away.
Yeah, you can charge it to ignorance all you want to, but once you are aware, now you're making the move, because now you want to be who you are. Okay, cool. Life got something for you wanting to be who you are. You understand what I'm saying? So everything about me started getting kicked out by me. However, that was for that season. But I had to go on with the new me and make new problems, new triggers, new things, and then rebuild myself again in another season. But it was all about that first step, though. I had to originally do that first one. So everything about me was illuminated quick, because I had a made up mind. When you got a made up mind and you ask the right questions in the world, it'll come back to you. So
I love that. And you just highlighted exactly what Trini said, right? That you start with your intention, and then you have to do that objective thinking, and you can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to yourself. Like, it's just, I mean, some people do, but I think if you really have an intention of figuring things out and growing and changing, then you can't lie to yourself anymore.
No, you can't. It won't let you. That's going to be very strange.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for sharing that, because I think that's real powerful for so many people who are listening and trying to figure out for themselves, where do I start even, right?
Right.
Trini, what were your thoughts on that?
Okay, so, well, for me, I had to grow strength in my own understanding. Instead of hearing other influences, other people's opinions and all that, I had to back up and assess my own opinion. And like G said, I had that aha moment, and it was like, no more of this. What is my position in where I'm at right now?
Right.
Why am I here? Right. And why do I feel this way? And like he said, because I kept telling the same story. I don't like to hear complaining. So me telling the same story just came out to feel like I was complaining. And I'm telling myself this. Why are you complaining? Because I stand behind every problem have a solution. Stop complaining. So I had to figure it out. I had to assess myself. I had to step back and be like, all right, ABC, wrong for me, kind of thing. And then I was like, okay, it's time to start disciplining, but we're gonna get to that next. So that is how I was direct with myself. I had to really be like, okay, this is why I act like this, because I was triggered. This is what triggered me. You know what I'm saying? And that's
so you got to find like that cause and effect.
Exactly.
But your own cause and effect where you take responsibility, right? So I'm looking in the mirror, I'm seeing myself, and I'm recognizing that everything that's happening to me is not happening to me, but it's happening for me to learn something about myself, right?
One thing about the universe, it's that thing called karma. Karma, by the way, is not punishment. Karma is that experience that keep coming around until you learn your lesson. Some people think karma is punishment. Oh, you beat me up. I hope you gonna get your karma and you gonna get knocked out. That's not what karma is. But for that person, you gonna keep going through that cycle until you learn your lesson. That is what karma is. Okay? So we're gonna move on. And you got any more, Maya?
No, that was perfect. Thank you. I just, I'm an interrupter. I always like to break it down and get a little deeper because, we all learning. We got to know all the details to learn and put it into our lives.
Of course. That's why you're the interrupter. Okay, so number 3, listen for obstacles. So we talking to ourselves now. Now we got to listen to ourselves as well. Because we got to listen to the situation that we put expectations on. Okay? We got to listen to ourselves. This happened because I felt like he or she shouldn't have done that. But you put an expectation. Did you tell them about that expectation, though? Because sometimes people don't even know what's on your mind. You got to open up and speak it. So once you get to understand your perspective of the obstacle that you put in front of you, your own block, like G said, I had to figure out where I was making the mistakes at. You know what I'm saying? So once you figure out where your mistakes is at, where your blocks at, where you can understand completely with your authentic self and your authentic mind without denials, and be true with yourself. Once you start listening, you can start removing those obstacles because now you are what? Aware of your place in the situation, right? Okay.
So can I ask, is that connected to this idea of having boundaries for yourself and boundaries with others?
I would agree. You can throw that right up in there because at this point, you're at the stage where you're like, I don't like this. I need to fix this. So now you got to create a boundary, which is also coincide with self-discipline in some areas, but we'll get to that in a few. But yes, boundaries is definitely important in this stage because this is where your obstacles. So how you going to get rid of it? What's going to stop you? What you going to put in place so that this ain't coming again? So I'm glad you said that. So yes, boundaries. Now, what we want to do is be logical with these obstacles and take out our emotions. Because although emotions are normal, I'm not taking that from you. Like I said, when you feel something, feel it. Be in it. Notice it. But when you're thinking of your obstacles, take the emotional side, put it out for a minute, and be logical with your obstacles. You have to be upfront and true, right? Okay, you have it. We're going on to the next one.
Keep going. I'm open. Okay. I'm listening. Okay. I'm ready.
So I love her questions, G. I love it. That's why I'm like, hold on, let me wait.
Nah, I can dig it. I get it. I can dig it.
Okay, so the fourth one, we got to problem solve it, right? Now we got to brainstorm. Now it's time to put some solutions together. Now it's time to see, all right, I gave my intent. I know what I wanted to do. I looked myself in the mirror and I told my authentic self and my authentic truth. Then we discovered the obstacles. Now let's see what solutions I can put in place to solve these problems. And be realistic with your solutions. Don't be, if you know that, okay, I'm going to eat 2 grapes in the morning. And you got a whole pile of grapes. If you know you're going to eat that whole pile of grapes, don't put you're going to eat 2 grapes in the morning. You got to take baby steps. Be real with yourself. Okay? Don't shock yourself. Be real with yourself.
So give yourself attainable goals that you can build up. You build them up as you go along, right? I'm doing that with yoga right now. Attainable goals.
You know what? If I may, something that I learned in my healing, what I had to understand was when you give yourself the ability to be human, it makes the journey less stressful. When you allow yourself, like I was speaking on earlier today, when you allow yourself to know that you have choices in a situation, because now your 2 choices is you can try this new thing that you're doing, or you can go back to your programming. But the only pressures there are the pressures that you putting on you. So like you said, if you say you're only going to have 2 grapes and there's a pile of them there, when you say I'm only eating 2 grapes, now you put the restriction there, and you cannot tell your mind what you with it. You're not going to bully your mind and say we only eating 2 and that's that. Your mind going to show you 5 and 6 and 7. So what you got to understand, what I had to understand was, if I say my goal is to eat 2 grapes and there's a pile of them there, but like you said, but it's okay. If I do that, I didn't fail. I'm now aware. And then at the end of the day, we're going to work on that later. But if I allow myself to have that option to say, even if I choose to, I'm not a bad person. Even if I choose to do this, I didn't fail. It's okay. It didn't take me overnight to change this. So I'm okay. The moment that you do that, it's less pressure on you. Now you can just be, and it's a healthier choice for you. You get what I'm saying? When you say, I'm not eating these, I'm only eating these 2, now you have made it a war. Now it's you against you. And here's the thing. You're learning your strength in this time. So it's a good chance that you're going to make this battle more important than what it really is, because what you're going to finally realize is when you eliminate the idea of a restriction, but acceptance and understanding that I am a human being. If I want to eat these grapes, I get it. But at the same time, I still got opportunities to make it better. It didn't take me overnight to do this. I'm not a failure. I'm not going to beat myself up about this. I'm not going to have these same expectations that I put on life to put on to my change now. I'm just going to be and let it be. And when you do that, it makes the walk a lot less stressful, because you're not condemning yourself per se, because it's that expectations that's getting you. So when you allow yourself to have choices and say, I'm doing this for the betterment of me, I just don't like who I was, versus we changing, that's that. No, you see what I'm saying? So it's just, when you don't put the pressure on yourself, you transition easy. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that you said that, because I think that goes like, it's like we got to give ourselves grace, right? Because healing is not about breaking ourselves. It's about growing ourselves. And when we grow something, if you think about plants, right, we nurture them. Right. Like we nurture it. If you didn't water it one day, you water it the next day, right? Like you still, and it's fine, right? Like, but it's so hard to give ourselves grace, though. I think that is even so much easier said than done, because the expectation with healing is that you do it quickly and you're out of it, right? And it's not. It's
Yeah.
not. It's a really arduous, hard process that requires you to you're gonna go backwards. Like, I mean, there are some days where I laid in bed and I didn't get up, right? Like, I had to give myself grace because the other days I was doing 101 things, right? So like, we have to, it's part of the journey. It's part of the process. And I
Yeah.
appreciate you lifting that up, G.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's just, I mean, I didn't want to go too long on it because I know you're trying to get to the steps because I talk about this all day. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, guess what? You just list the last step. You gotta identify the impacts. And how you do that, if it's too much, give yourself some grace. Give yourself some slack. You do it for everybody else. You don't deserve it.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. So I don't have to go deep into that because G explained it perfectly.
Because I mean, that's just, and like I tell everybody on my lives and everything that I do, when people saying, man, okay, I need healing and I'm broken and all this and all that, the first thing we got to understand is who told you that? Where did you get that idea? Before we go any further, who told you was, how can you say you broken and you don't even know who you are? You don't know, you're fixing a mask. You're fixing a mask. You don't even know who you are. And that's where this idea that we're broken, or it's that mask is broken. So first of all, when we say I'm in healing, we instantly put, it's also an expectation, and our body hears that. And our body says, well, let me show you broken then. Since we're healing, fine. Let me show you broken. So that's what all these by default expectations are going to come over you when you identify with being healed. Instead of saying, like you said, number 5, always go back to the whole thing is I'm okay. I'm making adjustments. I'm not failing. I'm adjusting. I'm observing me and I'm in awareness. It is fine. I accept me for me, and it is what it is. However, I know that I can make improvement. I am not broken. I'm just adjusting. I'm having awareness with me, and it's fine. So wherever I go from here, first I'm going to go with acceptance, because a lot of times, like I always use the analogy, it could be that we trying to fix the engine when it's the tire that's messed up. We don't know what's broken because we haven't set with ourselves to say, look, this is me. So at the end of the day, when we get to that, we have to first understand that before I go any further. Am I making an adjustment because of my triggers, or is it because of how am I perceived to society? Let me be better. But first I get better, let me accept who I am for who I am. And it is what it is. Forget making anybody else happy. I'm okay with me, because the conditions of me making somebody else happy is what had me have no boundaries and give me this condition of broken. So let me get rid of all of that and let me accept me first, because nobody else is doing that. So let me do what nobody else is doing, because it's nobody else's priority. I'm with me every day, all day, 24/7. They with me 8 hours out of the day. They got stuff to do. So let me accept my number 1 star player. So let me take care. Let the main thing be the main thing. So let me take care of the main thing. You dig what I'm saying? So when you go from there, then you work out. So then it makes the whole process so much less stressful when you can just be and you can just float and you can have because that's when real time moments come. That's when awareness comes. That's when observations come. That's when you notice your triggers. That's when you notice why you moving the way you move. You understand what I'm saying? So all that comes in accountability and awareness and all that other stuff. Like I say, when you go back to look at you, bring your awareness and your accountability with you when you go back there, because now you can see, okay, I played a part in that. I played a part in that. Oh, that's me. Wow, all this time, that was me. That was okay. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like taking that flashlight with you to see where you're going. Bring your awareness and your accountability. And first understand that the person that was pre-awareness and the person in awareness is 2 different people. So who you're complaining about is who you used to be. Because now that you got awareness, if you are aware of your movements, you're not even going to make those moves anymore, because now you're watching you. So now the next question is, then why am I doing this versus I'm just doing this? Those are 2 different people. The one pre-awareness and the one during awareness is 2 different people. So we got to stop putting that pressure on ourselves so much and just be, and then go. Accept me first, but I'm making adjustments, not change, adjustments. Because at the end of the day, that's just me. This is my quality. These are the things. These very same things may protect me down my healing journey. So it's not about changing. It's about adjusting. Because some of these triggers I'm going to need, because y'all going to have me messed up down here in my newer level, that I'm going to have to use that to get you out of my way to get me to where I'm going. You dig what I'm saying? So
that's right.
I love your purposeful language, because I think so much of mindset is the language we use, right? So for changes to adjustments makes a difference in how I now see it. The perspective changes when you change your language. Right. So a lot of this accountability piece is about mindset. And then it's really the goal is you're taking accountability to get to peace. I think that's what you said, right? Gee, it's all about, it's like peace. We just need to be at peace. Like, I don't want to be bothered by nothing, and I don't want to do it to anybody else that I'm impacting them, right? I just
there you go.
want to be. Just
I just want to be.
I just want to exist. Look, I just want to be. I just want to exist.
Yeah, I'm saying so. That's just the main thing.
That goes to a few podcasts we had earlier about stop wasting your energy. We don't got energy to waste. We don't got.
We got time for it. Real talk.
Ain't got time for that. That's for sure.
So we're gonna take a small, short break. And remember, I was telling y'all about this project that I've been doing. It's called Yomi Chi Life Attunement. So check it out and see what I got going on. Welcome to Yomi, a yoga meditation program. Yomi, Life Attunement. You will learn to balance your 7 chakras. It's about self-improvement and self-acceptance. Using meditation to clear your thoughts. Yummy. It will help you gain strength and flexibility. Maximize your self-confidence. Okay, welcome back. So, just to give y'all a little quick snippet, Yomi Chi I didn't add the Qi, which is Qigong. We'll be practicing in some of those too. But I will give you the links on the Facebook page about more about it. And I'm not sure if the video was choppy, but the second part of that video, I would tell y'all, I was in a major accident, like blacked out everything, car smashed in. And the next day I did that shot. And I don't know if y'all can tell, but I was in some big pain. But I still put it together. And that's what determination and self-discipline is all about, which is what we're about to go into right now. Self-discipline. So let's define self-discipline. It is the power to manage a person's thoughts, emotions, or behavior in the face of temptation to achieve a specific goal. So, Maria, have there ever been a threat to your discipline? And if so, give me one example on how you had to remind yourself, hold up, let me discipline this action.
Daily. Emails, text send, interactions with ex-husbands and children. The list is long, right? Self-discipline, honestly, I think really is a daily thing, because there's the extreme things, right? Like those ones I just named. But then even just the self-discipline of you are clearly Yomi Chi and you are all into the yoga. But for me, self-discipline and exercising daily has been hard. So those are things that I think it goes with starting with small steps, but self-discipline is a challenge when it's small things or if it's really big things because of the triggers or because it's reprogramming yourself. One or the other kind of definitely will trip me up in the process of self-discipline. So, but now can I ask what makes self-discipline more approachable and easier for both of you?
Well, if I may, self-discipline for me, what makes it easier and more approachable is identifying why it's difficult in the first place. And so what I had to understand was self-discipline is only a struggle because of whatever pleasures you're trying to be disciplined from. So what I had to understand was, okay, if I said I'm not doing this, then why is it a fight here? Because it's whatever that brought to me as pleasure is what's making it difficult. So what I had to do is identify what is this and I'm turning away from? What is it fulfilling within me? And then now identify this energy into somewhere else. Where else can I take this energy and relive that somewhere else in a healthier response? You understand what I'm saying? So yeah. The discipline is about the reason why it's a disciplinary situation is because the pleasures. It's whatever the pleasures bring, it's whatever it's bringing into you, and whatever feeling it's giving you at that moment. So that's what makes it a battle, because it's about the pleasures versus you finding a new sense of gratification or a new sense of fulfillment without that. So what I did was identify what purpose this is serving within me, and took that energy and found a healthier alternative to where it not only is it long lasting, but it's more beneficial to who I'm trying to become and where I'm trying to go. So that's when you got to learn what the discipline is. I can keep my mouth closed because at the end of the day, what is the problem? Okay, well, it's a struggle because I don't want them thinking blah, blah, blah. Well, first of all, you already lost that battle because that's their thought. Second of all, who told you that they thought that? That's coming from your body. So if that's coming from your perspective, that means you think that. So what can we do to stop you from thinking that, to where you ain't got to worry about that? And the only reason why you're struggling to keep your mouth closed is because of some insecurity that you may have, that you may think that they see something in you that probably, they probably don't see. It's coming from your filter. So once you realize that, and you identify that and you fix that, then that takes away that right there and the need for them, and you can continue to stay disciplined. So it's just identifying what the struggle is and what pleasures or why is it a fight in the first place? And then when you find out where, okay, if I'm doing this and it's bringing me a feel good pleasure, let me take this and find another route. It may be the gym, it may be boxing, it may be, these are all my things. So it's like, well, I can do that for a better feel good to where you can have this over here. I'm doing this over here for the betterment of me, not you, me. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's
No,
what.
I like that. So it's first, if it's about, like, for you, it's the trigger, like figuring out what the trigger is of why I need that thing that I'm trying to be self-disciplined from, and then prioritizing your energy to make it be for something that's going to fulfill that in another way, but not take from you, right? Like, that's the thing. The self-discipline is whatever it is. If it's a chocolate cake I'm eating, or it's the relationship I'm craving that's not working for me, right? I'm finding something else to fill that. And then it sounds like the last piece is you got to have your goals. So if I know I'm trying to get here, if I veer this way, I'm not going to get here. I got to keep moving in this direction, right? So that really helps. Thank you. No, I think that broke it down really well. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for me, I had to accept the situation in order to discipline what I wanted to accomplish. I had to accept the situation. And along with accepting it, I have to have the willpower to do so. You know, I have to be strong enough to stand on my ground, pretty much. If I accepted it, and then I assessed it, and then I was like, no more, now I got to bring in my willpower. Because with that willpower, I had to use my hard work. And like G said earlier, it's okay if you have a slight setback. You didn't fail. You just noticed one extra detail. That's it. And now you know how to walk over that hump. Okay, instead of trying to climb up, when you can just simply walk over. And that's how I go about this, self-discipline myself.
But that's
I
great.
keep myself accountable.
Self-awareness.
It's all about self-awareness. I keep myself accountable. And sometimes I have an accountable person that helps me. Because if I feel like I might slip, let me go holler at this person because I trust them. I know that they got my back. So let me tell them this is what I'm trying to accomplish. Hold me accountable. Check on me. Make sure I ain't going outside my zone. I'm giving you that permission to do so because you trust this person. Yeah. Right? So it's numerous ways to figure out how to do some self-discipline. But Maria, I know you have projects as well. So we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to allow we're going to give him the opportunity to showcase his works and what he's all about as well. So Maria, what you got going on in your world?
I think you're about to see. I got some new ventures in Brown Girl Interrupting on YouTube. My name is Brown Girl Interrupting, also known as Maria, and soon I am going to be venturing into a new project. So you might know me already as a blogger who writes, and now I am going to be moving from sharing my story to sharing the stories of others through interviews. So please stay tuned for the new show coming up on the YouTube channel for Brown Girl Interrupting called Pain to Power, Leading with Love. And it's going to feature different individuals who have taken pain and turned it into power by creating healing opportunities for others. So the first teaser that we have is an interview that was done just last week on January 9th with a social media popular guy named The Meme King for Real. And here's a little teaser of that interview. See you soon on Pain to Power, Leading with Love with Brown Girl Interrupting. Know that everybody is dying to know your story because you have some amazing things that you've been sharing in terms of relationships, and the power of what I've noticed is that you're able to not only impact the way women respond, but men respond to you too. And that's just a rare thing I've seen, is that anybody's content that can affect and really impact both men and women is pretty powerful. And it says a lot. So I got to ask you, was there a moment or like a moment in your life that ignited this whole desire for you to share your wisdom about relationships?
Well, if you want to get go back further than Meme King, there was a period of time in my life where I wasn't the best man. I wasn't the best guy. I didn't love women properly. I was pretty much not a good guy. And before Meme King, back in about, I want to say 2010, I decided I had broke a woman's heart. I had really hurt someone who really cared about me. She really loved me. Like she was what society likes to call, what we call ride or die. Like she was a ride or die woman, and I didn't treat her right at all. And after really hurting her, I woke up one day and I wasn't happy with myself at all. Not as a man, not as a dad, not as anything. And I made a commitment to myself to want to do better. I accepted who I was at that time and said, listen, you need change. If you ever want your sons to grow up and choose and be a man, you have to lead by example. If you ever want your daughter to grow up and choose a suitor, you want to lead by example. You want her to choose a suitor like you. So in order for these things to happen, you have to be the example. So I started working on myself, and it took me 6 years. 6 years of really tearing back the layers. 6 years of getting ugly, really getting into it.
Yeah.
And I was finally healthy enough to love a woman back in like 2016 is when I finally arrived.
Yes, definitely Pain to Power. Pain to Power is coming up very soon. And if you haven't done it yet, please go subscribe to Brown Girl Interrupting and hit the little notification bell so you get the most recent updates. And I know that we're going to hear a little bit more about G's projects, but I have just one last question for you. I really want to know, G, is that you've really shared a lot about your process and what you've done to get to the accountability, to get to this process of growing and then sharing it with others. But what's the overall, what do you think is the biggest impact on your own life through doing this? Whether it's your own work or work with others and for others?
Well, I think the biggest process was my codependency issues and my voids are fulfilled. So it's a freedom and it's a different world when you love you first. When you begin to work on you and fulfill your own voids and do that work, what it does in the freedom that it gives you and the lifestyle that you live after that, I don't think people understand. Most of our problems in this world is we give a damn too much about what people think. And when you do that work, it eliminates all your dams. So, and there's a freedom. And I don't think people understand there's a life outside of your freedom. There's a life outside of your cares. There's a life outside of your fears. That's what life, the life you're supposed to live is behind your fears. So when you get to the other side of your fear, there's a whole nother world that open up to you. And usually what happens is, when you find that freedom, the world finds you, because now your life ain't based on who you have in it. It's about you being you, and we're going to attract who we attract, but we don't give a damn because we done found us. You see what I'm saying? So what I realized, what I was looking for, I had the whole entire time, man, please. So, I mean, I'm telling you, this is a different world out here. And it's a different type of freedom when all your dams are gone. When you can care less for somebody to think about you, because you're gonna move in such a way that you're not a disrespectful individual. You have peace. You don't go looking for drama. As a matter of fact, you walk away from it, and I don't care what you think as I walk away. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that world right there, that's a different type of world. And you learn how to live alone. You learn how to find you in a space where most people struggle to even be themselves. You're not afraid of the dark no more. And I'm telling you, the game changes. And this world is due. You're not afraid of the dark, and you don't care what people think. Man, that freedom is non. Oh my goodness, you have no idea. So
that's precious.
But
that's precious, right?
More importantly, you have a guidance system. If I'm treating me this way, I know what mistreatment for me is now. If I'm loving me, I know when I'm not being loved, and I know when you're not expressing it. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm not disrespecting me, then I know when I am being disrespected now, because I have a relationship with me. If you understand what I'm saying, so yeah. That's what that is.
So that freedom builds that awareness too. I love that, from fear to freedom. Thank
Oof.
you. And thanks for being here. I mean, I think we've learned so much. I want to say there's so much in the chat. Wei Mei Linda On says, I want that freedom. And I know there's a lot of chat conversations. Soul Good Kitchen says, yes. You have so many of your followers. Tamika Harris is saying, awesome.
Yeah.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes, yes.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
really good. Yes, it is Soul Good Kitchen for sure.
Wow.
We would also like to add that brown girl, see, look at her. Brown girl has overcome a lot of things. And I'm telling her live. She has overcome a lot of things. And it's shining. Your light is shining. Continue to let it shine. Continue to block out all of those negative, toxic, whatever it may be.
Right.
Keep going. Because that's the main thing. That's what disciplining is. Keep going. That's what accountability is. Keep going. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, we don't give a fuck. Then we just had this, what was it, last week? The art of not giving a
Giving
fuck.
a fuck.
Because that
Yes.
is real, y'all. Y'all have no
Yes.
idea how real that is. Because once you stop caring, woo! It's like that's the freedom, not caring.
Well, I just
That's
said.
what takes your energy, caring.
I just said.
You know
Thank
what
you,
I mean?
Redemption.
Exactly what G just said.
And
Exactly.
and you know, I have to say it's really important to recognize that Brown Girl did not come here on her own. I had a village and I had soul sisters and soul community, and I will have to say Lovely T and Trini was big in that part. I know you saw her Yomi Shi stuff, but I will say that when I met her, who I was, it was almost a year ago. It was November of 2020, right? November of 2020, I met
Right?
you.
Yep.
And
Thanksgiving Day.
at Thanksgiving Day, right? And who I am, I think, and G, you said this, right? Who I was and who I am are not the same people. And I will say, I can attest to the fact of soul, that chakra work, that reflection, and the way that Trini has done it for me has been in a really honest and sincere and genuine way to really understand myself. It's not some program, it's knowing yourself through adapting to what you need. And that's honestly what's gotten me to where I am. And I wouldn't be here on my own. And I got to say a shout out to Ja, because even just our producer has helped us get where we are. So, you know, this is a village. I think that that's a big piece, right? And you mentioned it, Trini, is that like you reach out to people for accountability. You have to reach out. No one can entirely do this on your own. There are parts of it you do on your own, but you can't do everything on your own.
That's right. And don't, you know, if you got to the point where you went to depression mode, believe that you're not going to stay there. You need to grab them tools and learn how to use them. And take your mindset off of I can't. Get that out your definition, because there's no such thing as trying. Try to look at me. Are you trying to look at me, or are you looking at me? So there's no such thing as I think I can't get, then you're not ready. That's all to it. When you become ready, holler at me. I got you all day, every day. So, G, tell the people your handles, what you got going on, because I know you got a book coming out and you're doing a book club. So let's see what we got. Tell us something.
So my Facebook is GeeAlford, which you see on the screen, GeeAlford. My Instagram is G_Alford, same name, just underscore. And of course, you know, the TikTok is Mr. Don't Play 83, because Mr. Do Not Play for real. So I got that going on. I have my Patreon. I just launched that Sunday. Yeah, I just launched that Sunday. It's a subscription page where I'm putting exclusive content, exclusive videos, all on that. You dig what I'm saying? But my TikToks, of course, I still do that. But now I will be on there posting all that all my new content. Yeah, I am working on the book, but I got paused for a moment. I I didn't know that's the relationship me and God paused me for a second. So I need you to do something else real quick. And so I had to go, I gotta be obedient. The deal we got is I talk to your people, you fix my personal life. So whatever's going on in my personal life, that's God. I got his people. You dig what I'm saying? So made an even swap. You dig? So, but what I do on the Patreon, I had everybody download this book called The Power of Now, which we will be discussing chapter by chapter in there. And that's one of the books that changed my whole mentality, because it's about where true peace and true power lies is in your now. We don't have no more than right now. Nothing else exists. You understand? And one of the things that I get people to understand is overthinking is a form of arrogance. To think that you will be where you're scared of coming to is arrogant, because we got day by day, second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour. So if you understand that you're just being arrogant in a sense, that's one of the things that can diminish that fear in your overthinking, and learning that the future doesn't exist, because when that gets here, you will still be in your now. So that's a hypothetical world. So if you can hypothetically think negative, you can hypothetically think positive. It's about bringing balance. Keep it negative, but add a positive in it, and let's go there. So don't just tilt to one side, because if you have one side of this, you're going to go that way. You understand what I'm saying? So we do a lot of that. So then again, as time go on, I've just rather wait till this thing build up, let them see it from there. But what I got right now is those social sites, and I got a lot of stuff going on. I got a lot of stuff in the works. I'm just excited about it, because I'm not really working. It's my passion. It's my calling. I do this with my eyes closed, and I'm saying, I'll do it for free. So I know getting paid for it ain't nothing. You understand me? So yeah, that's that.
Well, and you got your G Squad following you. I mean, they are in the chat. They are heavy. They are like representing the geometry.
Let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you. And this is, when I tell you from the bottom of my heart, I love them people to death. You hear me? I let them know wherever we go. I told God, if I can't take them with me, I ain't going. So whatever you're going to do to me, do it. But those people are coming with me. Let me explain something to you. And they almost bring me to tears when I talk about them. I tell them all the time on my live, validation is from within. Confirmation is without. I've validated me, but they are my confirmation. So when they say to me, we think you're so dope. And I say, well, we're all on the same frequency. So if I'm dope, y'all are dope. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever you think I possess, you possess it too. So when they say, I don't forget that, they jokingly would say, don't forget about us when you get to the top. And I have to explain to them, my top was finding peace within me and healing. Well, I got that. So if I'm telling you I'm at the top, guess who's up there with me? Like I tell people, it's not lonely at the top. You just got to meet new people. So I have to introduce myself to them individually, because, we all at the top. We up here together. So if I'm at the top, you at the top. If you found me and you rocking with me, we all there. You understand me? So whenever I say I'm doing something, them people start showing up, and it's boom, and no questions asked. Okay, what's the name of the podcast? Oh, is it live? Yeah. And I did this because I didn't know y'all was live. So I was just on live on my podcast, on my TikTok. And then I said, okay, I'm finna get off and go over there. They was like, is it live? I said, I don't know. And one of them looked it up and they said, yep. And that's when they all started coming.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, listen, you don't understand, man. You don't understand.
Well, look, we appreciate all the G Squad that showed up tonight, because y'all were in the chat sharing all your thoughts, and we love the love and the audience, and hopefully you keep watching us even after G leaves us, and you're with us for the good run, because Lovely T and I are still here doing our spiritual healing, and maybe we get to see G again. We hope.
Yeah, I'm sure he gonna come, because we family now.
Now we family, right? Now we the soul tribe. We're at the top together.
And G TikTok family, I be up in there with them too, hollering right with them. So we all family now. And so I appreciate you so much for attending and coming on this platform. You blessed it with your knowledge, and everything was awesome. So every Thursday night, y'all, 9 p.m., same bat time, same bat channel.
We here. Bettermindz interrupting, bettering your minds and interrupting your thoughts.
That's what's up. That was dope.